Behold the Klipsch Stadium. I'm being a little over the top on purpose here because everything about this speaker is over the top. Klipsch literally spent years developing this thing so they could get it just right, and I think they did. Let's take a close look and dig into some specs. So let's start with the exterior. This is a die-cast brushed aluminum cabinet, and it's way overbuilt. It's super inert. You give it a knock and it doesn't give an inch. And it's a 29-pound speaker, so you know everything about this thing has been built to the hilt. Let's pull one of the grills off here, and you'll see right away there's a 3/4 inch tweeter with a 90-degree, what Klipsch calls Tratrix horn, and this is what helps disperse the treble out over a wide area. Now inside here, you can't see it, but there is a 3.5 inch, what Klipsch calls diaphragm, that handles all the mid-range frequencies, and that too gets spread out into the room through this sort of horn-loaded enclosure. And then finally, over on this side, this is actually a bass port. This allows some of the bass generated by the two 5.5 inch woofers to be dispersed throughout the room. So these 5.25 inch woofers are facing each other this way, not just because it looks cool, but because Klipsch can maximize the internal volume of the cabinet, and by firing at each other like this, they actually cancel out some of the vibration. So you get pure bass output through those ports I showed you without any noise. All those speakers are driven by a 400-watt peak power amplifier, so it's probably going to run around 150, 200 watts most of the time. And the crossover is really advanced too. It's 24 dB per octave, fourth order slopes. That's the kind of thing you expect in an audiophile grade speaker. Now there are a selection of buttons up front that allow you to control power and volume and source. Probably never going to use these because I've got this remote. What I like about the remote is that it's got kind of a cool curved look to it, and it does sort of mimic the aluminum finish of the speaker itself, except for that's plastic, and it kind of has a cheap feel, which kind of detracts away from the quality of the speaker. You spend this much on a speaker, it should be a little bit nicer. But one cool aspect is you can pull this slot out and then it'll support your phone. Now this thing is chock full of input options. The obvious thing here is this antenna, which functions as a Wi-Fi / AirPlay antenna, because you can play via AirPlay, or DLNA compatible speaker will pop up as a speaker option on a computer. It does also offer Bluetooth if you want. We see a couple of analog inputs. You could use anything there. There's an optical input, 2-channel PCM only, so you could run your TV's audio to this thing. And then the USB port here plays dual purpose. It can charge your device, and you can also hardwire your iDevice directly to the speaker. The one bomb we haven't dropped yet is the price. We're looking at a $2,000 speaker. How does it sound? It sounds excellent. The bass is deep, it's super tight and punchy. It also has a way of filling a room. You'd never guess that the sound source was this small. Really huge sound. Yeah, obviously for $2,000 you can build yourself an entire surround sound system. This is a luxury speaker. It's overbuilt, it's just meant to be badass and awesome, and frankly I can't think of a single system this size that can produce this much excellent sound.